This video focuses on two questions: Introduction to the top 20 basic concepts in Python and Introduction to Python basic syntax, with difference from other languages such as Java. By asking these two questions to ChatGPT respectively, and then summarizing the answers to these two questions, we can get a framework diagram of Python's core concepts. Then refer to my last video, how to set up Python IDE, to set up versus code, run different examples, and if you encounter any problems, continue to ask AI, such as ChatGPT for reference. Iterate in this way to master the basics of Python development. First, let's look at the first question. By asking ChatGPT introduction to the top 20 basic concepts in Python, ChatGPT will tell us about 20 basic concepts in Python and provide a brief explanation for each concept. The higher ranked concepts are relatively more important. Everyone can start by getting familiar with the following 12 concepts, including variables and data types, operators, conditionals, if, elif, else, loops, functions, lists, tuples, dictionaries, sets, string manipulation, file handling, importing libraries. The remaining 8 concepts can be learned later when needed in subsequent Python development, including list comprehensions, exception handling, try, except, classes and objects, object-oriented programming, modules and packages, lambda functions, map, filter, and reduce, decorators, generators. Next, let's delve deeper into the first concept, variables and data types, obtained from the first question. Ask ChatGPT, Introduction to Python variables and data types, with examples and code explanations. Then we can get the basic knowledge of Python variables and data types. We learn that we can create a variable by simply assigning a value to it using the equals operator. And we learn that Python provides several built-in data types that can be stored in variables. Some of the most common data types are 1. Integer, whole numbers, positive or negative; 2. Float, numbers with a decimal point; 3. String, sequence of characters, text; 4. Boolean, represents two values, true or false; 5. List, an ordered collection of items, which can be of mixed types; 6. Tuple, similar to lists, but immutable, cannot be changed after creation; 7. Dictionary, a collection of key-value pairs. Then we copy example code, working with variables and data types to vscode, and paste a new Python file, then ext the file. By ext example code, we have a preliminary understanding of Python variables and data types. Of course, there may be many questions. Don't be surprised or worried. As we continue to master more Python knowledge, we will have a deeper understanding of this concept. If you encounter similar problems while using Python, you can refer to this video. You can also directly access the support documentation and code for the video. The relevant links are located below the introduction of each video. Next, let's look at the second question. Ask ChatGPT the question, Introduction to Python basic syntax, with difference from other languages such as Java. Then you can get 10 knowledge points about the introduction to Python basic syntax and the differences from other languages such as Java, including no need for explicit types, no semicolons and braces, print statements, variable declaration and assignment, functions, no main function required, simpler entry point, indentation versus braces, object-oriented versus functional programming, memory management, libraries and ecosystem. The knowledge points introduced here do not need to be understood in depth for the time being. You only need to know that these knowledge points exist. When you encounter corresponding problems when using Python, you can come back and refer to this video again. You can also directly access the support documentation and code of the video. The relevant links are located below the introduction of each video. In addition, some knowledge points were also encountered when answering the first question. Next, I will briefly demonstrate the relevant sample code in Xcode. 1. No need for explicit types. Python is dynamically typed, so you don't need to specify data types when declaring variables. 2. No semicolons and braces. Python uses indentation to define code blocks instead of curly braces. There are no semicolons at the end of statements, unless multiple statements are on the same line. 3. Print statements. Python uses print as a built-in function to output to the console. 4. Variable declaration and assignment. Python variables are assigned without specifying a type, and their type is inferred at runtime. 5. Functions. Python functions are defined using the def keyword, and there is no need to specify return types. 6. No main function required, simpler entry point. You can write code directly in a script without needing to define a main function. 7. Indentation versus braces. Python enforces indentation to signify blocks of code. Python requires the same indentation for the same code block, otherwise it will report an error when running the code, such as the error message in the Xcode terminal. This may be the biggest difference between Python and other languages. Additionally, I would like to remind you once again that you do not need to master all the knowledge points introduced in the above two questions all at once. It is enough to know that these knowledge points exist. When you encounter corresponding problems while using Python, you can come back to refer to this video. You can also directly access the documentation and code attached to the video. The relevant links are located below the introduction of each video. Alternatively, you can ask AI, such as ChatGPT, about problems encountered during the process, such as script errors. Of course, you can also leave a message under my video, and I will reply as soon as possible. Finally, if you are interested in this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.